With smoke-free slots and highest payout percentage in the area. Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. The big game in the books. The team that eliminated the Green Bay Packers from the postseason wins it all. The Philadelphia Eagles, 40-22 winners over the Kansas City Chiefs last night in Super Bowl 59. Plenty of reactions continuing all day long right here on 100.5 ESPN, including on Wilde and Tausch coming up next. Over at ESPNWisconsin.com, time to flip the page to next season. Check out where the Packers land in ESPN's NFL Nation way too early power rankings for next year. Yep, they're doing it. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. NBA, the Bucks 135-127 winners over the Philadelphia 76ers yesterday at Fiserv Forum. Damian Lillard leading the way for the Bucks with 43 points. Kyle Kuzma with 13. Giannis did not play. He continues to be out with injury through the All-Star break coming up this weekend. Bucks back in action again tonight, hosting the Golden State Warriors at 7 o'clock.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Monday edition. Some might say this should be a holiday and everyone should be off. Maybe they'll do that with President's Day at some point. Edition. What a clunker. 34-0? 34-0 it was. So much for being the first team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowl titles. Green Bay Packers stand alone as the only three-peats in NFL history edition. And what can the Packers learn from what they saw from the Eagles? I've got a list edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. It's a nice Iron Jock polo you've got there. That's sharp.
Thank you. One of our new ones. Yeah,
Is that a zipper instead of a button closure?
It's got a little quarter zip on it. Yeah.
Nice.
Love Iron Jock. Love what they do for us here at ESPN Madison.
And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer, a member of the 2000 NFL draft class, and our resident Tom Brady apologist. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm tired.
Why?
Tell me more about how
Should've
great
went to bed
Tom
early.
Brady is.
Yeah, Tom Brady's fine. All this angst. You guys think he's going to be the next John Madden? He's not. But He's not as garbage as everybody on Twitter and you and Jesse and everybody else thinks. Like, he's just not. I don't know why it bothers you guys so much. Is it because you love Greg Olson? But he did a fine. He was fine.
He was
great.
fine.
He wasn't god awful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Did you read that awful announcing story I sent you?
Yeah, there's plenty of awful announcing that I think you're not going to like either. So
I understand.
Isn't the gospel of announcing.
But they said the same thing you did if you read it, and that was he was fine. He was fine. You and I don't disagree vehemently very often, but last night we were diametrically opposed on the performance of Tom Brady, who kept calling Patrick Mahomes Patrick like he was his younger brother instead of what normal announcers do, which is call them by their last name. Jalen Hurts wasn't Jalen all game. And when the two-time defending Super Bowl champions are trailing, what was it, 27-0, 24-0 at the half, and 34-0 in the third quarter? I don't know about you, but I'm looking for the guy who led the Patriots in Super Bowl 51 to a rally from down 28-3 to win the Super Bowl to deliver more insight. That's my only criticism, is that I didn't think for the GOAT of the NFL quarterbacking history, he delivered a lot of insight. I agree. He was fine. He told me stuff that I already knew, but I expect more, and I meant it when I said it in our text exchange, that I learned more listening to you call games with LePay than he gave me last night in the biggest game of the year. I don't think that that's a ridiculous position to hold, to expect at the end of the season, after 20-some games that he's called, that he'd be better than that, and better than just as awful announcing, and you agree and I agree, that he was just fine. And I don't have strong opinions very often, but I need more from him. I don't think that's unreasonable. And neither does Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, Frank, it's just so hypocritical by you, and that's what bothered me in our little exchange, because just hold up, and then can come keep spouting your hatred at Tom Brady, which I don't care.
It's not hatred.
Tom's not. No, it is. You said he sucks.
It's not.
And that's fine.
It's not love.
But you can't sit here after all these years and say, well, you have to let Jordan Love grow. Like, you have to let these young players grow. It's Tom Brady's first season.
He's 47 years old. He played 21
years in the league. It's his first year in a new job. It's his first year in a new job, Jason. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that he's supposed to be John Madden 30 years in.
It was Edgerrin Cooper's first year in a new job.
What?
It was Edgerrin Cooper's first year in a new job. Was he better at the end of the year?
And he had to grow. And he had to grow, and he still isn't a finished product.
At the end of the year, he was pretty darn good, which is what I expect from Tom Brady. That's all.
But he's not. Yeah, he's not an all-pro. So I guess you can't have it both ways. It's easy to blank on Tom Brady. I don't care. Like, you want to blank on Tom Brady, go for it. I don't think it's as big a deal. Like, I just don't. I thought the game stunk. It was a rout. Maybe he didn't think the Chiefs, because they were getting dominated at the line of scrimmage, where his Patriot team didn't. Because you can sit here and say, well, you have to take it one possession at a time. But maybe Tom's analysis was, they can't block these guys. They can't stop this, and until that's the case, there ain't going to be no 28-3. And by the way, there wasn't a 28-3 comeback. It got worse. So Brady could have said, well, this is what you should do. Maybe he's watching the game thinking, oh, they ain't going to do it because they're getting their blanks whooped up front. They can't block a four-man rush.
He didn't say that either.
Listen, Jason, you hate him. I don't care.
I don't.
I'm just not going to sit
him.
here. I'm not going to sit here and have you just
rip him to shreds.
I think you did, and I disagree. Yeah,
but that doesn't mean I hate him.
I'm not saying you're an idiot. I'm not saying you're an idiot.
No, you're saying I'm a hypocrite, and that
you are being hypocritical.
I hate him.
Yeah, you're being hypocritical. But
I'm not.
It's all right. Like, I'm happy that you have a strong opinion. I just violently disagree with you. That's all.
It's violent, all right, and vehement. Look, We say this about rookie players all the time. By the end of the season, you're no longer a rookie.
They better be better or they're gone. Or Greg Olson's going to take their job. That's what you always say.
That's not what I say. And I don't hate him. I have high expectations for a guy who's the GOAT and got paid $375 million to be the lead announcer on Fox.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unreasonable to have expected more from him. More than fine.
Yeah, you can. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
But then I hate him. To me, especially in a game like that, you need your analyst to be interesting and engaging and entertaining and insightful.
Why?
When it's a game like that. Because it was a dog of a game. It was 34-0. Tell me some good stories from the Super Bowl.
Then.
That was earlier in the day, and I did watch it, and it was outstanding.
Okay.
And kudos to Steve Levy for donating his time, I'm sure, to call the Puppy Bowl. Look,
I got a hunch Steve Levy's getting paid to call the Puppy Bowl.
I'll have to ask Steve Levy the next time he joins us on the program. Look, all I'm saying is that I expected more, and I don't think that that's an unreasonable position. And to compare him to a rookie player in the NFL and make that excuse for him after he's had an entire season of calling games is ridiculous. Evan Williams was better at his job as a rookie. Jaden Reed was better at his job as a rookie than what Tom Brady gave us. Maybe. I'll give you my NFL Plus password, and you listen to it. Just stop and I don't know if you watched the game with friends or you were at a party. I don't know what your situation was, but all the girls got back from Florida. They all went to bed at 4 o'clock because they'd gotten up at 3 a.m. Eastern time to fly back. It was me and the dogs. I watched the game start to finish, and he did not deliver insight. I don't hate him. I think he needs to get a lot better, but I expect a guy who started calling games in week 1 and now is in the Super Bowl to give me more than he gave me when he played in 10 Super Bowls. He did interviews for how many years? Did you see him on Colin Cowherd telling stories? He was great. I don't understand why on the telecasts he's not very good.
Maybe Cowherd should be doing the games. Maybe you're looking at this wrong. Maybe Burkhardt.
So this is all Kevin Burkhardt's fault.
You watched Cowherd?
It was on social media.
That's the other. Great point, Jesse.
It's a clip on social
media. Somebody else that he's hate watching. That's what happens when his girls are gone for a week. He starts watching Cowherd.
Skip Bayless.
I'm the only one that sees things on social media now.
He's got Skip.
Who
else? He's breaking down film with Orlovsky.
Here's the deal.
He's doing everything that he's hate watching everything.
Mark. I'm going to call you Mark all show since Tom Brady
What do I
called.
care? That's my name. Go for it.
Okay, Mark. I will.
Yeah,
Jana. Fine. Mark has lost Jana. If Tom Brady, this is from the Carbless Talk and Text line, Liss is more, 844-770-3776. If Tom Brady needs time to grow, then don't put him on the biggest game of the year. Let him grow in games no one wants to watch, and he can earn the right to call the Super Bowl.
That's fair. I'm not going to argue with Jana. That's a fair point.
They're not going to
put the same thing.
They're not going to put Brady on a
same thing with
Bengals
Jordan Love. Then,
game.
hey, we got to hold up. Hey, we got a Super Bowl roster. We got a Super Bowl roster. Jordan Love is our quarterback.
I don't think this is the good comp for you. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years.
Go ahead. You finish my point, Jason.
No, I'm sorry. No, go right ahead.
No, you jump in. If you guys want to just keep spitting on stuff, go for it. The bottom line is you have to elevate. Did Tom Brady elevate? I don't know. I don't think he was great, but he's not this god-awful, like he sucks and you're turning the game off because he's on. Like, it's just not.
I think
we put way too much into it. As far as this other stuff goes, you can't sit here as a whatever you want to call yourself, media member, analyst. I'm an analyst. I'm not a media member. I look at things and it's, all right, well, he's not ready. Tom Brady did fine. Tom Brady didn't blank down his leg. The game went off, and I thought, okay, not bad. Is it John Madden? It's not. Is he Chris Collinsworth, 25 years in? You ask of players and you ask of fans to let players and coaches grow on the job. You say that all the time. It's their first year. You have to give a little grace. You got to let them grow into it. They're not going to be finished products. Tom Brady. Now, Jana's point's fair, but I don't think you sign and bring Tom Brady in because he's a high-priced free agent. If you're going to do that with a first-round pick, you should sit him, but you don't. And when you do that, you have to think there's going to be a learning curve. And I think Tom Brady got a lot better as the season went. He wasn't good in the beginning. I said that, too. I'm not like some Tom Brady apologist, but he's gotten better. He's gotten a lot better. And I thought last night he was fine. He was not dynamic, but I thought he was fine.
Are you done? I don't know who's in charge of check the tape, the check the tape department, but help me.
That would be me.
Help me out here. Who was it that suggested that Tom Brady, with some flux on the NFL on Fox pregame panel with Jimmy Johnson and Terry Bradshaw, should stop calling games and be on that panel with Gronk?
Yeah, he should. He'd be better in that. I did.
Who was that?
Because I believe he'd be better suited in that cowherd model. So either Fox has to fire Burkhardt and bring Cowherd in to run the Super Bowl, and then that could be real. That might be better what you're looking for. My point is he did not take away my enjoyment of watching the game. He didn't ruin it. It wasn't a big deal. Your viewing was ruined because Tom Brady kept calling Mahomes Patrick. It drove you nuts.
It
you
was
sent 100
ridiculous,
texts.
Mark.
You sent 100 texts.
Not 100.
All my point was to you is he wasn't that bad. It wasn't torture as you were making it out to be.
How did you watch the game? How did you watch the game?
On TV.
With whom?
I watched that TV and I listened to Tom Brady.
Thanks for letting me know you weren't at the game.
Well, that's what I did. I didn't watch it on like some. I'm sure there's other illegal streams and stuff. That's how I watched it.
Who were you with?
I was with my family.
How closely would you say you watched the game?
I watched the game every play. I watched the entire game.
This feels like an interrogation.
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell?
Where were you the night of the Super
Why don't you
Bowl?
just get to the? Why don't you just get to the point? What'd you eat? Did you take a dump? Like what other stuff are you asking here? Like get to the point.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
where you
curious.
decided to
Like
go
what are you trying to get to?
That was true. Because I think if you had it on in the background and you're at a party and you're eating chips and queso and little finger sandwiches, maybe how fine he was doesn't bother you. But if you were locked into the game and watching it and paying attention and listening to him, you would recognize how crummy he was, given the expectation. You always teach us that the expectation game matters. The expectation game for Tom Brady is not the same as the guy doing the sixth best game on Fox on a Sunday in September. It's just not. He wasn't good enough on the biggest stage. That's all. And the fact, Mark, that you are digging your heels in on this, I don't get. Because I don't hate him as a person. I don't hate that he wore a $740,000 watch on the broadcast. He wasn't good enough for the moment. That's all. Will he be better 5 Super Bowls from now? Maybe. Or maybe he's just not very good at this. But the bottom line is you needed something more than fine from a $375 million analyst, and you didn't get it. And yes,
Are you paying
it was
him
not as enjoyable.
$375 million? It was fine. The game sucked. You're trying to make it out like there's something else. If the game was entertaining, you wouldn't be saying that. The game wasn't.
No,
and you wanted Bob Uecker, R.I.P. to be doing it, or John Madden, R.I.P. to be doing it. It's not the case. I just think it's everybody's favorite pastime to crush, people that are doing that in that job.
Who do I crush in that job? What is my
You
track
don't like
record
Romo either.
of crushing them?
You don't
That's
like
not
Romo
true at
either.
all. You're
No, it
making
is.
stuff up now, Mark.
I think
No, I'm not.
I think that's you.
Yeah, you don't like Romo either.
I don't know, Mark.
Anyways, listen, man, you have every right, and my whole point on this is you can say Tom Brady sucks as an analyst, and that's fine. Is he the best? Obviously he's not. But your whole viewing I can go through our text string last night.
Go right ahead.
It was ruined because you didn't like the fact he was calling him Patrick. It drove you nuts. I don't know why that would bother you so much. I hear Sean Breen on ESPN calling LeBron, and I don't hear you going crazy about it.
I know who Mike
you say
Breen
LeBron
is.
all the time. Giannis, oh my God, I can't possibly listen to so-and-so because he says Giannis the whole time. Why does that bother you? It's just a weird hill for you to get all upset about.
You're right. Clearly, because people call Giannis. Why did he call every player by their first name then? Why did he call Jalen Hurts
Maybe he's got.
I don't know. I wasn't in his draft class. You ask him.
I'll ask Gina, and she'll tell me there's never been a better time. I'm done with the Tom Brady. Everybody's crushing me on here because I don't think it was that big a deal. I'm going to stand by that. I don't think he's John Madden. He's not Bob Uecker.
He's not even Daryl Johnston.
He's fine.
Moose.
I don't understand your hatred of it. I just don't.
I don't know
how you can let. I don't know how you can let that ruin. You can't let that ruin a Super Bowl, but you did, and that's fine. I'm not going to let you ruin the Pella experience. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and to get all of your questions answered. It's coming up this weekend. Visit Pella at the Nari Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You can rest easy with Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply. So here's what I'll tell you. I don't want to get in a fight with Jason about, oh, my God, Tom is calling Patrick Mahomes Patrick, and it drove me nuts. Yeah, he's not the greatest analyst, but it did not. If it ruined your experience, that's on you.
I didn't say
not
it
on
ruined
me. I'm not going to do that anymore. What I am going to tell you, if I may, what I am going to tell you is
tease out instead of what I have planned.
Yes,
Mark. Please, Mark.
I am going to
tease us out, Mark.
Because Tom didn't get into this last night.
Oh, imagine.
The game of football is not complicated, and if you don't believe me, last night was another prime example of why it's not, and what Green Bay needs to do to get to that level was on display last night in New Orleans with Tom Brady analyzing it beautifully. We'll delve into that next.
Mark will explain it on Mark and Wilde.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Dane County's largest selection of the all-new 2025 Equinox has arrived at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Lease the 25 Chevy Equinox LT for just $299 per month. New colors, more storage, and all-new tech. 36-month, 30,000-mile lease. Must qualify for lease loyalty or conquest rebate. $19.95 due at signing plus taxes and fees. To approved credit through GM Financial. No security deposit. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie and ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Offer ends March 3rd.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Hungry? Quick Trip's got you. Food's here, and it's hot and ready. Check out our appetizers, like crispy tornadoes, packed with bold fillings that'll keep you coming back for more. And experience Quick Trip Zesty Mini Tacos, bite-sized, big flavor, and totally irresistible. No dinner plans? Take home and bake a freshly made Cheese Mountain Pizza. So easy and delicious. Fuel up at your ultimate destination for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
Come see Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away on the road. But you got no destination.
Welcome back to Jason and Mark across ESPN Wisconsin.
Hey,
let me know. 3-hour football game.
How did you stay hydrated?
3-hour radio show.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I know you don't drink Coors Light like I do, but you've been drinking a lot of Haterade lately, haven't you?
All right, you can.
Oh, snap.
Got him. That's pretty good. Jesse, you like that one?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I got Jesse. Come on in, Jesse. So, Jason, I don't want to continue to relitigate.
I don't either.
Tom Brady. And people can chime in. Our buddy Brad Fulton texted me, and he said he was inundated with people texting him and at his party last night on how good Tom Brady was last night. So it's a potato deal. A lot of people just expect Tom Brady to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't expect that. Knowing how he operates, he's an analytical dude. I think he's going to get better. But I don't want to get into that. What I do want to get into, and I want to pay my T's off so you don't keep yelling about Tom. Oh, Patrick.
Just admit, just take the L, Mark, and then let's change the subject.
I ain't taking it. There ain't no L.
Oh, I'm aware that you don't take L's. I get it.
No, I mean, listen, I took an L last week, a big fat L, thanks to Jesse. And he actually did some research and work, which he never does. But he decided to do it there.
Always got to take a shot when you admit that.
Well, it's true, and you know it's true.
He goes down swinging.
The bottom line last night, and I love it when this reminder keeps slapping people in the face, is that football, for as much as people want to fantasize about fantasy football and all of the other stuff, football is a simple game. Win the line of scrimmage on both sides. It's hard to execute, but if you can do that, you're not going to lose many games. And I think it's a good reminder to everybody at high school and college and in the professional ranks that if you can have the greatest quarterback ever, according to some, not Tom Brady, but some others.
Patrick.
If you cannot execute and block people and you can get home with 4 people, the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles did not have to blitz once and were able to do that to the supposed greatest quarterback of all time, that is how you win football games. And Philly has been the best roster in football. There were questions about coaching. There was questions about all this other stuff. They won the Super Bowl this year because they were the most physical football team on both sides of the line of scrimmage in more games than they weren't. And when you do that consistently, you're going to give yourself chances to win over and over. And it is another reminder when people are always, oh, draft a wideout. Oh, get this guy. Oh, bring in so-and-so. Well, you know what? Big bodies win. And I think last night should be a great reminder when the draft comes to Green Bay and when free agency starts. Think there. If you win there, you win in February. If you don't, you end up heading out of town early. And that should be at the – I heard Louis Riddick, I think, on Get Up this morning, and he said, you know what? He goes down to the Senior Bowl every year, goes to the Combine. He said there is never a bigger group of scouts, et cetera, that will be located around one-on-one pass pro and the 9-on-7 inside run period where you get to see who can move people, who can stop people, who can do this. And that will always be the crux of how you win in the NFL. Period. Fin. Thank you.
That was some insight from Mark, who was way better than Tom, talking about Patrick last night. Now, while I was watching the game, listening to Tom talk about Patrick and arguing with Mark.
And Hurts.
Put together – Hurts, yes. Not Jalen. Not Jalen. He's Hurts. But Patrick's Patrick. I put together a list while I was watching the game of the lessons that I think the Packers could take from this game. So I'm glad that Mark teased that heading out of our argument about Tom Brady, which he won't admit. He just wasn't good enough for the moment. But that's fine. We have moved on. But I want to go through my 5-item list.
I can't believe a 52-year-old dude would let Tom Brady ruin his Super Bowl experience. It just amazes me.
I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed Kendrick Lamar more than I expected.
Boy, it certainly sounds like it. I'll just go through a little taste. And
read them. Yep. Go ahead.
Patrick. Why is he in just a bright red emoji face? Why does he keep calling him Patrick? But you enjoyed the heck out of that game.
Face.
Yeah. Jesse, did you, in the text strings last night, did you sense that Jason was loving watching that game? Is that what you got from that?
I did not. It seemed like he was not enjoying his time watching the game.
Okay. Thank you. That's
all. Right,
all.
so for the sake of accuracy,
52-year-old dude just caught up on some texts from the past, man. A 52-year-old
46-year-old
Tom Brady ruin his Super Bowl experience.
Unable to give information accurately. First of all, the angry emoji face was from Jesse, who got hosed out of the shortest field goal on Prize Picks because of a penalty.
37-6, and we do a 5-yard false start to take away the shortest made field goal. Come on, Philadelphia.
Saquon, lead Saquon into the end zone, Jalen, and we got a tutter, and I win all my Prize Picks.
Tough night.
But I didn't. It didn't happen, and kind of irritated about that, too.
Yeah, you don't say. As I pointed out, we're not going to read texts on the air, but I'm going to read the highlights. You were right. Okay. You said it from the very beginning. The problem is, I don't know if you watched the rest of the game, because you were right. He criticized the penalty call on the offensive pass interference on the opening drive, and I thought the same thing you did, which was, I didn't think that the Raiders' partial owner was able to do that on the telecasts. Which I'm curious now, is the NFL going to enforce that rule? Because he definitely, I think his critique was, I didn't like that call.
Wow. You hate Tom Brady.
No,
wow.
I hate that the NFL says that there's a rule and then is putting him in a position. He doesn't even go to the production meetings because of that rule. Yeah. Then change the rule if you're going to have him as your lead analyst on one of your partners. Also, I just wanted to know No, you know what? Forget it. I'm not doing this, Mark. I want to get to the things that I took away that the Packers can apply.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, well, we'll do that next. Mark, it's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
All right, fellas, let's tackle the age-old question. What do I get her for Valentine's Day? Don't stress. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and wow your Valentine. And get 25% off your entire purchase. Books makes it simple. Choose the Quickie Book. With the click of a button, get their best-selling bouquet right on time for Valentine's Day. She'll brag about it for weeks. Or pick from their collection of unique modern designs or go for their flower subscription, the #1 husband life hack, and be the hero every month. You really can't go wrong. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from where they grow best. So you get bigger, brighter blooms that last longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. She'll be blown away by how stunning they are. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so don't fumble the flowers. Get your order in now. Go to Books.com, use my promo code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code Canty. Books, promo code Canty.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is where you can find the area's best high school basketball games all season long. Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Catch star recruits, rivalries, and state championship contenders every Tuesday night. It's Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison this January. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison Volleyball is Madison's newest pro team. Get ready to watch some of the world's best volleyball players, from Olympic medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 17th at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse. Visit lovb.com for more information and tickets for Love Madison matches. Volleyball is the next major league.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
ESPN Wisconsin celebrates National Girls and Women in Sports Day. All month long, celebrate with ESPN Wisconsin's special program, Lead Her Forward, hosted by Jen Latta and Michelle Smallman, presented by Love Madison Volleyball. Celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
I have my list Mark and I will go through that in a moment. Some great opinions in the YouTube comments, except from, ironically enough, from Mark. I don't think it's you, though, because you don't know how to log in. Jason is like a 7-year-old girl. I don't find that constructive, Mark, but that's okay if you don't agree with me on Tom Brady. But 7-year-old girl, good one. Way to put me down.
In what ways?
I don't know. Don't know. You'll have to ask Mark.
Like, I was watching the game with my friends. We were at a big gathering last night. I met my friend's 5-year-old daughter for the first time that, like, she could remember. I met her when she was a baby, but it had been a long time. And we had a good time. We were playing with little ducks and whatnot during the game. It was a good time.
Oh, well, that's nice, Jesse.
Yeah, it was a good time.
What'd you think of how Patrick played? All right, so here's my list.
Play like crap.
That's fair. He was not very good.
Draft Cooper to Gene. Is that the top of your list?
No, but I did get some texts when he had the pick 6 on his birthday, and we will get into him a little bit later in the program because I do not think this is another instance of passing on a player of TJ Watt's caliber, but I knew the minute he crossed the goal line that I would have Packers fans saying that it's Goody's fault for not drafting him, which I think would hold a lot more weight if they hadn't also drafted Evan Williams, who looks like a pretty darn good football player. So we'll get to that.
Has he tweeted, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22? Because that feels like a miss if he didn't.
Maybe he, like some of the fans at the Super Bowl, aren't fans of Taylor Swift, who got booed when she was up on the Jumbotron.
That's why you would, Cooper.
All right, I'd like to get my list, if I may. Do you have some special music for my list?
Even though I got back late from Chicago last night, I did in fact come up with some special music to reveal Jason Wilde's big game takeaway list.
And Jim H. in the Milwaukee YouTube comments, or Madison ones, maybe these are Madison. At some point, are you guys going to do a deep dive NFL draft analysis? Yeah, today's February 10th. The draft is at the end of April, but we'll talk more about the draft as it approaches.
Have you heard our Super Bowl previews, Jim?
Yes. They've been pretty good the last 2 years. Number 5. Run some authentic play action. You saw the dagger touchdown pass and how effective the play action was for the Eagles last night. Now, it helps, and I'll get to one of the other ones a little bit later, it helps to have a really good offensive line playing well. But the fact that they run authentic play action, and Matt LaFleur talked about it at length in his postseason press conference. Well, how do you define play action? I define play action as you pretending to hand the ball to the running back and tricking everyone into thinking he might have the ball and then throwing the ball. That's how I define it. I think that's a reasonable definition. Number 4, make some smart, cheap signings. That is something Goody has done. Now, obviously, it was not smart to extend Devondre Campbell, but one of Goody's strengths as a GM, in my opinion, is finding good bargains. Right? You saw Rasul Douglas have a huge impact. You saw Devondre Campbell have that kind of a year for 1 year. Zach Bond, I don't know if Zach Bond is going to be successful wherever he signs next if he gets a big contract elsewhere, but he was a game changer. He was like Tramon Williams during your playoff run in 2010 in this playoff run, and he cost them $3.5 million. He had a hell of a postseason. Number 3, have your quarterback run. You saw Jalen Hurts pull the ball down multiple times. You also saw him run on designed runs. Jalen Hurts had 72 rushing yards last night. In the entire season, Jordan Love had 83. Now, I understand Jordan Love had multiple lower extremity left leg injuries. So that is part of it. But that needs to be more of your offense. That's where the league is trending. You need to have that be part of your offense. Number 2, protect. You saw the Chiefs unable to do it. This was the best offensive line in football that the Philadelphia Eagles trotted out there, including with 2 guys dealing with one with a back and one with a knee injury. They were the best unit on the field yesterday, and the Packers have had great offensive lines. The 14 group, the 03-04 group. They're going to move on, I think, from their center. Josh Myers is going to get the John Runyon Jr. treatment. Thank you for your service. Enjoy a contract elsewhere. But they need to figure out how to make their offensive line an elite unit. Obviously, everyone wants an elite offensive line. And the Packers have had some. But Zach Tom, by his own admission, did not play at an elite level this year. Talked to him in the locker room at Locker Room Cleanout. I've been saving that story for a little bit later in the offseason. But I think he is still a top-level talent. I don't know what to make of our friend of show, Rasheed Walker, as a left tackle. I don't know how good he is. Is he good enough? I don't know. Mark is the expert on the offensive line play, not me. But they're going to have to figure out what they're doing at center. If they're moving Elton Jenkins and they're going to start Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan at the 2 guard spots and Zach Tom and Rasheed Walker at the 2 tackle spots, is that an elite offensive line? I'm not sure it is. And finally, what every defense wants to do, but Jeff Hafley definitely wants to do.
So Jesse Nelson just put himself in the
well, he's in the picture.
Yeah.
He didn't Photoshop himself.
Rasheed Walker's in that picture.
No, I know
he tailgate
did.
And Elton Jenkins and Ryan Bulaga and Jesse.
Yeah, and Becca.
Anyway, and finally, number 1, you have to be able to win with 4. We had Chris Canty on last week when he was being fake mooned by Warren Moon. And Mark asked him about how they got pressure with 4 when he was a member of the Giants. You saw it again last night with that group up front for the Eagles. If you can get pressure up front with 4, it gives you so many more options. And the Packers' defensive line with Kenny Clark, LVN, Rashawn Gary, J.J. Enagbare, Preston Smith, who was traded at midseason, wasn't good enough. They fired their defensive line coach. Are they going to add to that position? Are they going to acquire someone? That they were not able to get consistent pressure with their front 4. And the Eagles did, and they won the Super Bowl. That's my list of 5, Mark. What do you think?
Well, your 4th one is just, could it be more? Oh, hey, guys, sign a bunch of studs, a defensive player of the year for $3 million a year. Jason, great idea. That is a great idea. Goody,
I thought Mark would like that I was praising Goody for his previous inexpensive signings.
So I like your list. I think the signing a cheap free agent that's going to be a huge playmaker, no blank, like everybody tries to do that. That's hoping. I think your biggest one on here is the Jordan Love running component. I think that is one of the things, and I do think health had a big part in that. That is something that he has shown, and it puts a ton of pressure on defenses, and we need to make sure we get back to that. As far as the other things go, your list is good. It's also very pommy. It's incredibly pommy. What you're missing on there, they have this great O-line, right? Had they lost last night, you know what the narrative would have been? Saquon Barkley had 25 carries for 58 yards. Is that great? You know what was great? They had a chess move to, I'm going to shut down your best player. I have 2 number 1 receivers that we can lean on and beat your blank. Okay, Kansas City's got a good defense. They had a lot of guys running open. And their offensive line was able to hold up and give a bunch of time because that run game. I would argue Green Bay's run game, the quarterback runs that Jalen Hurts had set a tone. That's why I think that should be your number 1 on your list, which is really good. But the other part of this is we need to have a counter. The NFL is about adjustments and being able to – everybody tries to Belichick things. Who's your best? Josh Jacobs. We're going to stop him. Philly didn't stop Josh Jacobs to the same degree. Kansas City never even got started on that. So I think what this tells you is Green Bay, yes, I'm not going to get up here today and say, well, look at how close we were. Did we play Philadelphia as tough as anybody? We did. Did we hand them 4 turnovers and not take it away? We did. And we still, what was the score? 16-10 with 14 minutes to go? So for everybody that thinks that there's this huge chasm, Philly's better. Their roster's better. They executed better. We had them on the ropes, but we were not mature enough yet. I think you should still look at this as, from a Packer fan standpoint, we ain't that far off. But we do have a gap to close, but it's not some monster gulch that is unattainable.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Do you agree with Mark's assessment that they are not that far away after what you watched last night? I think that the things on my list, while some may be obvious, are all attainable for them. I think the smart, cheap signings, which was poo-pooed by some, was also if I may, I gave you the floor. Stop.
That's true. And I gave you the floor, Jason.
I said I had a list, and I read the
list.
And
I let you go.
And you still,
I didn't even I didn't interrupt you.
Check the tape.
I know what happened here. Tausch didn't have a good ride to St. Louis, did he?
Oh, no. Do you think this might be Bartsky's fault?
I think it might be Bartsky's fault.
You're going to be very disappointed if that's what you think. Just FYI.
All right. No, I don't want to get sidetracked because then we're going to start talking about Patrick again. The reason smart, cheap signings is in the list is also because I don't think that they necessarily need to break the bank for Myles Garrett to improve their front four and to improve their defense. I would rather have them make some smart, inexpensive signings if I'm a Packers fan than go into salary cap hell by spending big. And as you have pointed out, the triple threat that it would cost them of giving up draft capital in a trade, not having a rookie contract that is much less expensive, and then having to sign Myles Garrett to a big number after trading for him, I don't think that's going to happen. But if you make a couple of sneaky smart signings, which Goody has done before, and which Zach Bond clearly was, then you can improve your defense without breaking the bank. That's why that's on the list. Because, yes, no blank. Finding really good players on cheap contracts is a good thing.
Zach Bond was an outside pass rusher. He was drafted with New Orleans, I do believe. That was the case. Philadelphia brought him in, I think, as a special teamer in kind of that same mold. And Fangio is the one that put him inside. So for all of the, you got to do this, it also comes down to coaching, finding the strengths, and utilizing them. And is that going to be the case? Because you could say, bring in Zach Bond. Would Zach Bond have made the same impact with Jeff Hafley as he did with Vic Fangio?
Is Jeff Hafley smart enough to do the kind of things that Vic Fangio does? Because I would argue that for a guy that inherited a bunch of 3-4 players, he did a pretty damn good job of cobbling together a pretty good defense that ran a 4-3. He had a defensive line that couldn't get pressure on their own moms, and with simulated pressures and occasional blitzes, still finished like 7th in the league in sacks.
On their own moms.
Couldn't get, like if your mom is back there, a quarterback, she's kind of slow, not as fast as, say, Patrick might be back there. Couldn't get pressure on her.
Well, I don't know. Did you watch the Texans game? A lot of pressure. How about the Tennessee game? A lot of pressure.
You're right, yeah. Tell me about some of the other games where they had lots of pressure from their front four.
My point is, it's not just about grabbing. It's also having an idea of how you're going to utilize, coach, and demand for what these guys are going to do. Zach Bond had not had the impact until he was put in a system that allowed him to do what he was going to do. Green Bay had Quay, Edger, and Cooper. You think they would have just thrown Zach Bond in the middle? I don't know.
I'm not saying – well, wait a minute. When did I say they should have signed Zach Bond?
You just said it.
No.
You said find a guy
Have you
that you can get on a
listening
cheap
to me? Is that what happened here? I never said
Jesse,
they should
did you
sign
not think
Zach
that his
Bond.
implication was to sign someone? You said someone like Zach Bond, but Zach.
It
and my
says
question to you was
smart, cheap signings. He's the example
that was
for
Zach
them.
Bond. You used him as your example
For them,
right?
Not it doesn't say sign Zach Bond. They don't need an inside linebacker. But speaking of making a player better, look at what Quay Walker did in this system compared to the previous system. It looks to me like Jeff Hafley and Anthony Campanile got more out of the guy than they had previously. So the coaching might actually be pretty good. Tell us about American Family Insurance, Mark.
Badger fans, Zach Bond had a pretty good game last night. That doesn't
Packers
mean that's
should
who
sign
Jason
him.
wants to sign. You're going to be like this today, huh? Badger fans, American Family Insurance wants to give you and a friend a VIP experience at a Badger football or basketball game during the 2025 season. You and a friend, pregame sideline or courtside passes, tour of the facility, tons of great merch to support your Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. No purchases necessary. Dream fearlessly, insure carefully.
Talk more about the Super Bowl next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
I'd love to be in a game like that. I'd love to coach a game like that. They may not see a pass in the second half.
Subscribe to the Great Dane Huddle podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Embrace the challenge. Badger football's Kenny Guyton excited for Wisconsin's tough 2025 schedule. Backing him up on the hype, Barry Alvarez. Coach's words on the latest Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
We've built this program, and we like to think that it's a high-level program. We're competitive with anybody. We have to play these guys. You can't flinch, and you can't back away, and you can't hide. You got to play the big boys, and when you beat them, you've accomplished something. I'm really proud of the schedule, and really looking forward to him playing, and I'm glad he has an attitude like that, because that's what you should have.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
As you're putting your spring calendar together, we'd love to have you join us Saturday, May 17th for Mark Osiki's 7th Annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. We're on the Madison Chain of Lakes at 8 a.m., then back at the Alliant Energy Center at 2 p.m. for happy hour, dinner, and live and silent auctions, plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat. To sign up and get more info, go to castingforkids.org. Casting, 4kids.org.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. and see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hungry? Quick Trip's got you. Food's here, and it's hot and ready. Check out our appetizers, like crispy tornadoes, packed with bold fillings that'll keep you coming back for more. And experience Quick Trip Zesty Mini Tacos, bite-sized, big flavor, and totally irresistible. No dinner plans? Take home and bake a freshly made Cheese Mountain Pizza. So easy and delicious. Fuel up at your ultimate destination for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Dog, I can't remember a game that was this good.
Yeah, you know what else would be great right now? Some food from the Great Dane.
I know, but we can't go right now.
Good news! The Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company is available on DoorDash and Uber Eats. Stay in the game with the full menu delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Order today with DoorDash and Uber Eats or on thegreatdanepub.com. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
What I want, you've got, and it might be hard to handle.
844-770-3776. That is the carbless talk and text line. Got a couple calls already. We'll get to those momentarily. But be sure to send your text messages in as well. I think Mark is right. I don't think they're far off. I think the things on my list are doable. What do you think? 844-770-3776. That's the carbless talk and text line. List is more. Let's go to the carbless talk portion of the talk and text line. Let's go to Mo in Illinois. Mo, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Honestly, I'm not doing too well, given watching how the Eagles have played and how they continuously get to the big dance. And we're out here in Titletown, supposed to be playing in these games. And year after year, it's just disappointment. We're sitting on our couch and we're watching the Super Bowl when, in actuality, we should be playing in it. I mean,
Why aren't they? Why aren't they playing in the game, in your opinion?
Because Brian Gutekunst, compared to Howie Roseman, has not constructed a roster competent enough to be playing in these big games. He has not surrounded this team with the appropriate pieces to take that next step. And that's why I personally have a lot of resentment towards Goody. I know he made a few splash signings this offseason, and I think he's pretty good at what he does. But I can't help but feel the way a lot of Packers fans feel watching that game yesterday, seeing Cooper DeJean, who literally the entire Packer Twitter and fandom wanted, he gets a pick six, and we're out here wondering, I wonder who Goody drafted in the first round last year. And it's Jordan Morgan, who didn't play any meaningful football for us. Like, the Packers compared to the Eagles, it seems like the Packers draft for potential, and the Eagles draft the studs that are already proven in college. And obviously it has to translate to the next level. But Goody needs to surround this team with better weapons, and that all starts at the wide receiver position. I'm scared. I'm not going to lie. I'm scared we're going to get, instead of Devontae Adams or a big-time wide receiver, we're going to get Diami Brown or something. So I hope he goes and gets the appropriate needs for this team, because I'm getting tired of watching the damn Super Bowl at home. When we come from Titletown, we're supposed to be playing in it.
Thanks for the call, Mo. We appreciate it. I told you that the Cooper DeJean thing was going to be a TJ Watt-esque reaction from Packers fans, and I want to start there in the 10 o'clock hour. because he definitely made a big-time play in a big-time game that made a big-time difference at the moment that it occurred, obviously.
Let's poll, because Mo just brought this up. Do we think that the Packers are, how do you want to say this, Jason? You're the wordsmith. Closer? Do you feel closer or further than ever to winning a championship after watching what Philly did?
I like
something of that nature.
Yep, I'll put that together. Right. I do want to delve into this Cooper DeJean thing, because the minute he crossed the goal line, I was thinking, all right, here we go. Now, again, whether you hold the grudge or not, I was told by people in the scouting department that they did not see a big difference in their scouting. And I believe I said this back in 2017 when this show was still learning like Tom Brady is, that they did not evaluate T.J. Watt as being that much better than Vince Beagle. That is a failure of the scouting department, because they could not have been more wrong on that. Now, Vince did have injury issues that ended his career early, and he did have production at Wisconsin. But the fact that a Defensive Player of the Year and a guy who's on a Hall of Fame track, just like his older brother, was viewed in the same vein as Vince Beagle, that's not great scouting. And we love Vince Beagle on this show, friend of show. But T.J. Watt is a much better NFL player. So if the Packers didn't like Cooper DeJean, that is a failure of their scouting if he turns out to be a really, really good player. I do think it's worth noting that that was his first interception of his rookie season. It came in the Super Bowl on his birthday. Yeah. So I think we can hold off on the Hall of Fame bust for him for a little while. But the fact of the matter is that I knew this was coming. We'll delve into that when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour, which we'll do in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The big game in the books, concluding the 2024-25 NFL season. The Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl 59 champions, in a drubbing of the Kansas City Chiefs, 40-22 last night in New Orleans. The Eagles, the team that defeated the Packers in Game 1 of the regular season in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and also defeated the Packers in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs, go on to win the championship this year. So what does that mean? Turn the page to next season over at ESPNWisconsin.com. ESPN's NFL Nation has accumulated their way too early NFL power rankings for next season. That's right, we're already doing it. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. NBA, the Bucks winners yesterday without Giannis, who will be out through the All-Star break with an injury. The Bucks 135-127 winners over the Philadelphia 76ers. Damian Lillard leading the way with 43 points. Bucks back in action tonight, hosting the Golden State Warriors at Fiserv Forum at 7 o'clock.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. The dwellers are having a grand old time. And as Doug points out in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments, a lot of defensive backs look pretty good when your defensive line gets pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, it all works in concert. And this is not a crush Goody for not drafting Cooper DeJean zone on this program today. I don't know what Cooper DeJean's career arc is going to look like. I don't know what Jordan Morgan's career arc is going to look like. Jordan Morgan had this shoulder injury. It started in training camp. He tried to play through it. He ended up eventually having to have surgery for it. But I'm not writing him off in any way, shape, or form. No. He could be a very good offensive lineman for them. I am going to be watching Cooper DeJean, and this was why I brought up the T.J. Watt scouting misstep. Just because...
I just want to understand this, because we had this discussion back in 2017-18. T.J. Watt, it's because he's a Wisconsin guy. If it was Johnny Johnson from Texas A&M and he's balling out, we had a need at that point.
Uh-huh.
Why is Cooper DeJean going to be like T.J. Watt? He didn't go to Wisconsin. We needed a DB, but there are other DBs. What's his name? Quintavion whatever from
Mitchell.
Philly was there. I think he was picked too,
Quinion.
right?
Yeah, so
Quinion.
Here's why. Because he was as Ron Wolf used to like to say, the girl with the curl, which means he was the one that everyone was smitten with. And he certainly was a Big Ten guy that we all saw because we watch Big Ten football around here. But the biggest thing was in every mock draft, and the Packers did have a visit with him, so it's not like we can say they weren't interested at all, but he was the guy, right? You heard Mo in Illinois mention Packers Twitter, and Mo is a loyal listener to the show, and I'm not trashing him. But much like Barry Alvarez doesn't care what Ben Brust thinks,
nope,
Goody. Oh, sorry.
Who the hell gives a whether Ben Brust is great?
There we go. Thank you.
A little tired today.
That's all right. Much like Barry Alvarez doesn't care what Ben Brust thinks, Goody doesn't care what Packers Twitter thinks. And obviously, he didn't have a first-round grade on Cooper DeJean. And Cooper DeJean went 40th overall. He went early in the second round. So they didn't, just like they didn't like T.J. Watt and were wrong, we'll see if they're wrong. But the T.J. Watt thing, I will say this, even if T.J. Watt went to Eastern Michigan, with what he has now become, we would look at that. Not nearly as intently. The guy's been a defensive player of the year. Like, we wouldn't, it's not, let me finish. It's not nearly as intense as it is because he's a Pewaukee guy who played for the Badgers. But you're telling me that when the Packers play the Steelers in Ireland, there wouldn't be, and he has 3 sacks on Jordan Love, no one would mention, even if he'd gone to a different school, that this was a guy the Packers chose Kevin King instead of? I mean, I think people would think that. They were sitting there on the clock.
I think if he went to
Tulane
Tulane and his name was Johnson, nobody would say a word. No, I don't.
Yeah, maybe.
That's just me, though.
Jonah in Port Washington on the carbless talking text line. So do the Packers need to revamp their scouting department then? Because they seem to be missing on a lot of players. I don't know about you. I didn't say they missed on a lot of players. And I think they've had some pretty good drafts lately. But every scouting department misses on players. That's how this works. You don't bat 1,000. But again, I'm not ready to say even that Cooper DeJean was a miss. Let's see what his career looks like. But he had a huge play last night. There are no two ways about that. That was big time. On his birthday. And if only Jair Alexander had been scoring on a pick 6 on his birthday, that would have meant that the Packers were in the Super Bowl, and there would have been lots of excitement about that. But Jair celebrated his birthday elsewhere and not in the Super Bowl. Let's get to another call. 844-770-3776. Let's go out to San Diego and talk to Terry. Terry, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Oh, I'm doing okay. I have a son who lives in Philly and fortunately doesn't climb poles, so he was able to celebrate a little bit, even though he's a Packer fan at heart. But, hey, Jason, a couple points. I've been listening to you for a lot of years, and I think you got a lot of wisdom. But one of the points, well, and I've heard it in the context of this potential trade for Myles Garrett. I do follow the Eagles because my son is there, and I noticed that Howie Roseman traded a first-round pick and a third-round pick for starting wide receiver A.J. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He also traded a third and a fifth for starting quarterback Darius Slay. He traded a fifth and a sixth for starting safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and he traded a third for a third wide receiver Jahan Dotson before this season, and received a fifth back from Washington as well. Howie Roseman has repeatedly made trades to improve the roster. The Packers haven't traded a round 1 through 6 pick for a player. Has it been since Al Harris?
Yeah, I can't think of one. And Al Harris, I think they gave up a second for.
And so this dovetails into my second point. You've repeatedly said that if you kind of go for it, I don't want to say go all in, but kind of go for it, there's a chance you're going to go down. You're not going to be competitive. And that's what happened in Philly in 2020. They went 4-11-1. But they were able to recover. The Rams, we were told, were going all in when they traded for Stafford and Jalen Ramsey and Von Miller. The Rams went further in the playoffs than the Packers did this year, and they won that Super Bowl in 2021. Mm-hmm. The Packers have been really risk-averse, Jason. They don't trade for players. They don't take risks to put them over the top. And there's a reason that Howie Roseman has been to 3 Super Bowls now in 8 years. He takes risks. He takes big risks with guys like Saquon Barkley. He takes risks on guys like Zach Bond, although I think that's a Vic Fangio praise. But when's the last time the Packers took a risk? I mean, we're going to have the 23rd pick in the draft, as Jordan Love said last week on Radio Row. We're likely to go defense again.
He did say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, first, Terry, first, let me say this. I agree with you. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you have to be bold, right? We tease Rob Domofsky about not being bold enough. No one is teasing Howie Roseman for not being bold enough. You're right about the trades. I don't think they're going to trade for Myles Garrett, is what I'm saying. But could they trade if for some reason things don't happen in Las Vegas with Max Crosby and they decide to move on from him? Maybe, but the track record that you just described is why I don't think they're going to trade for Myles Garrett. That doesn't mean that I don't think it would be a blockbuster story, and I wouldn't be fascinated if they did it, but I think you're proving the point. What track record is there in Green Bay, Wisconsin, that they go for it like that? The mentality,
I agree with you,
mentality they have, and it was Ted's mentality, and it's Goody's, because, look, Goody, I understand he's coming off an offseason where he signed 2 big-ticket free agents. But if you look at the body of his work, he's got 2019, and he's got last year with Jacobs and McKinney, but he's more Ted than he is Ron. And so the idea that they're going to do that in this offseason, I would love it. And it would be bold, and you would be right. I'm just saying I don't think they have that willingness. I think their theory is we're going to give ourselves as many bites at the apple every year, and we're going to have that year like 2010 where we catch lightning in a bottle as the 6th seed, and we're going to go win the whole damn thing. We're not going to go all in and go out and make trades and give up draft capital to get guys that we think will put us over the top. That's not how they operate, and I think you just illustrated that.
I appreciate, thanks for the call. Great question. I just tweeted it because it is a great question. But let's not sit here and act as if Goody is just sitting there. Ted was totally risk averse. And I couldn't spell. I had a hard time figuring out because it's a verse, right? Or is it a verse? Like singing a verse. I had a hard time figuring. I had to Google it.
You spelled it right.
But I feel like it always has said a verse. Don't you think there's a K in a verse?
No, Mark.
Anyways,
no.
That's neither here nor there. I didn't know how to spell it, and I pride myself on enunciating and pronouncing words how they're spelt.
Indeed, spelled.
Jordan Love being drafted with an MVP quarter, like that was risk averse. Come on, and then making the trade. Oh, come on, and trading Devontae Adams. Okay, and then getting rid of Aaron Jones and bringing in Josh Jacobs. That's not risk averse. Like, let's stop and act as if we're just going to sit here and we're going to play. We're teetotaling, holding our cards, and we're only going to play. We're not going to ever put money in the pot. We're not going to play hands. This is not like Howie Roseman is more. Sean McVay, yes. Do we need to maybe up it? I actually think it's more on the field that we need to be more risk-taking than what we're doing off, because you saw last night they went for it on fourth down right out of the gates. I think that's more of where we need to be less risk-averse. I don't think Goody, while he's not a riverboat gambler, I don't think he is unwilling to take risks. We've seen it. Now, is it to the degree that others are? No. So I love the question. I think it's a great jumping off point, and it spurs you to think Howie Roseman, the moves worked. You know when they didn't work? Last year, when they started off 10-0 and filled their britches and got their keisters kicked in the first round of the playoffs, and they had to fire their whole staff, and they talked about firing their coach. So I get it. We're all palmy today. I totally understand that. I just can't sign on with the fact that we don't take risks, because there are risks taken by this organization, but you don't want to sit there and make a living rolling dice. You don't want to be throwing craps thinking that's how I'm going to win a championship. You win a championship by going and grinding. And then when the opportunity comes and the analytics and the numbers favor, that's when you pounce and take your risk.
So I don't want to speak for Terry, but I think what Terry was arguing was that Howie Roseman used his draft picks to acquire players in trades, as opposed to the Goody, which if you think of it as a exchange, Goody, everything's coming in, right? Draft picks are coming in, players are going out, right? Rasul Douglas, Preston Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams.
All those moves have been right.
Right.
If you look at it. Right?
Yeah, I'm not debating whether they were right or wrong, and I would argue that the Rasul Douglas one does not get qualified as being right at the time, because he traded him in a year that he ended up going to the playoffs, and he did not believe that they would. But it's all one direction. And Howie Roseman, and the point Terry was making, was he used his draft picks to bring in players, established players, veteran players who had been in the league, and those draft picks were being sent out and players were coming in. Goody does the opposite.
Just remind me, who did they trade draft picks to bring in? What players?
I don't know. He went through the list. You heard him go through the list, right?
Yeah,
A.J. Brown was on the list.
Okay.
Huh?
Yep, that's true.
Well, he went through like
Brown
4 different players. So my point is that I don't know if that's right or wrong. It certainly worked for them in this instance, but the NFL is littered with trades that teams make, giving up draft picks, and they get the guy, and the guy doesn't help them at all. Right? I mean, we saw it with the Bears.
Let's also remind ourselves, because this group doesn't win this championship without Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter had some stuff, obviously, that went down at Georgia that had him drop. because talent-wise, he is a beast of a dude.
Yeah.
We saw how strong and how he's just a monster impact player that fell. And
to ninth.
Just like taking Randy Moss. And there are always, everybody wants everything to be dialed up and perfect. Jalen Carter dropped, and without him, this didn't happen. Philadelphia is not a world champion if they don't draft.
So that's
Jalen
an
Carter.
example of a risk, right? Taking
Yes.
a guy that was involved
Are
in
the
drag
Packers
racing that left
Do you think
teammates
that's the case,
dead.
Jason? Like Terry? Are they too risk averse?
No, I'm not willing to agree with that because again, they could have taken a chance on trading a second-round pick for Chase Claypool, and it would have been a spectacular failure. He was bad. The Bears traded, the Steelers traded him, then the Bears got rid of him. I think he's in Buffalo now. Have you heard from him at all?
No, I thought he was in the UFL. I have no idea.
Bottom line is that was a trade that we thought they should make. They needed a wide receiver. That would have been a horrible mistake. So not all of them work out. The Jalen Carter thing is interesting to me because Ron Wolf, and look, he drafted one of our favorite guys instead. He drafted Vonnie Holliday, who, by the way, had a 15-year NFL career, and
Great
Mike
career.
Sherman, the general manager, completely screwed it up by paying Cletus Hunt instead of Vonnie, and Cletus Hunt was out of the league 2 years later. But Ron Wolf regretted not having the gumption to take Randy Moss because of the character risks, and he took Vonnie Holliday, who was definitely not a character risk. He was a solid NFL player. But then he watched Randy Moss in 1998 torch him to the degree that he picked 3 straight corners at the top of the 99 draft. So, yeah, you got to be willing to take those risks and take on the heat that you get for drafting a guy of questionable character. The Eagles did it, and it paid off big time for them. So I don't know about this. I think they are.
Question, though.
I think they are more risk averse than they are risk taking. But do I think that they are risk averse to a fault? Because that's basically the question. I don't think so. But it's a worthwhile question to discuss, and we can continue the conversation. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. This is more Wilde and Tausch. Straight ahead, stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson to tell you about Madison Weight Loss, the program that I experienced from the middle of August to the middle of October last year, 60 days. And in those 60 days, I was able to lose 40 pounds. It was awesome. All I had to do was change what I eat. No intense workout regimens, no surgeries, no injections. All it was the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, just changing up my diet. And it was all thanks to the expert coaching and guidance from Madison Weight Loss that I was able to achieve the weight loss goals that I set out for myself and more. I had never seen that type of success in pursuit of weight loss, but I was able to do so thanks to the team at Madison Weight Loss. If it's your time of the year where you've tried those early New Year's resolutions and you just can't find the success, you can't find the program that's working, try Madison Weight Loss. Trust me, it really works, and it's sustainable long term. You learn things that you can change your lifestyle for the remainder of your life. Contact the team for a free consultation in person or virtually at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
Come see Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Mark Tauscher here. It's now Valentine's Day approaching, and I don't have to sweat it this time around. I've gone to see the team at Chalmers Jewelers, and it has made my gift giving that much better. They travel all over the world to find the best ethically sourced diamonds available and hire the best custom jewelers around. Valentine's Day gifts, engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches, and accessories. Chalmers Jewelers, where custom costs less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has convenient local branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
ESPN Wisconsin has the players, and now we have the coach.
They better get season tickets right now because before long, they probably won't be able to.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez. Mondays on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The calls are flying in. Thanks to Terry in San Diego.
That was a great call by Terry. Loves Jason, which is great. Doesn't think Tom. I'm not going to speak on if he loves you.
He never
got an idea.
even mentioned
no,
Tom. Mark.
He didn't.
Why would you even? I thought we had put that in our past, buddy.
We did. We did. I'm trying to reset, Jason. I'm trying to reset kind of where we're at. And the risk-averse thing is super interesting to me. I love it when a caller or a fan or a texter or a dweller or whoever throws something that gets my mind racing. My mind is in that place where, are we too risk-averse? Are we so concerned that things could go? Because there is no doubt. My entire time in Green Bay, all I heard people was Packer way. Like, the Packer way is real, okay? And Packer people, which means guys that are going to work their keisters off, do their best, and we just want to give ourselves, to steal a Chiliism, a chance to have a chance.
Yeah.
And what that means is you're not going to bottom out or have a really blech year. Very rarely. And you want to keep chopping away, and eventually you're going to get that right strike, and you're going to get some timber. You're going to get a little bit of that good stuff. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes the axe isn't strong enough, and you can't finish, but you just keep chopping. The problem is you don't get to start with the down hollowed out to the core. just like Mount Everest, you got to reset, you got to resharpen, and you got to get back to chopping again. Today's the new day of chopping. Everybody now, it's, okay, great, Philly, congratulations. Where's my axe? I'm putting my flannel on. I'm going back out to get some timber. That's where we're at. And I think the Packers are always, is it to the point where we're looking at it like, I don't want to go where we barely get any wood off that tree and we ain't going to get any harvest. That's, I think, where we're at. How we go about doing that, how we approach it. Are we ever saying, you know what, man, I'm going out and getting me a big old chainsaw. It's going to rip this bad boy down. And you know what? It could stall, and we could have all kinds of problems, but there's a repair shop. We can get it. I don't know how our mindset is when it comes to chopping down this championship tree.
All right, so I want to take a break and then get to calls. I do want to know where you land on this. Do you think?
What did you
too
think of
risky?
my analogy there? Did you think that was pretty good?
I thought it was.
You know,
great.
I like positive affirmation. Thank you.
I know you do.
Use of a
Especially when you're calling me
chainsaw,
Mark.
very visual with the chainsaw. I appreciate that. Painting a picture.
Dazzling,
Well, I like painting a picture, Jesse.
Dazzling
I like
detail,
painting a
yeah.
picture.
It was you did sidetrack if we're evaluating. You did sidetrack into the Mount Everest, which I did hear Tom talk about. That he did
Why
not
he's
use
such a
Mount
good
Everest
analyst.
specifically and didn't deliver it as well as you did and it didn't have the graphics from Greg, who photoshopped you digging up all the empty Coors Light boxes on Mount Everest. But, it's...
The question is, if you're chopping down one of those big trees, and of course legally and all that other stuff, disclaimer, do you want to have a two-person where you and the it's got to be kind of mesmerizing, where it's where it's in and out and boom, bada boom, or do you want to just be like old George Washington chopping on that apple tree or cherry tree?
Cherry, yeah.
What are you trying to? How would you want the Packers to go about chopping down this championship tree?
I think they should use is it beavers that chew up the tree and then it falls down?
Beavers will chew on a tree.
Beavers.
Yeah.
I think they should just use a legion of beavers to take the trees down.
That's kind of what we do, and it seems like our buddy out in San Diego is thinking,
Terry,
bring out a blanket chainsaw. Why do we got to keep nibbling with little teeth? Like, at least let's get a two-pronged saw. I think you guys can realize it's like Jesse and I'm on one side, he's on the other, and it's zip, zip, zip. You guys, I want to make sure you're understanding what I'm saying. Zip, you get Jordan and Goody are out there for a couple days, and you get Mark Murphy and Russ Ball. They got to get out there. They're pulling on it.
How much? You
and
think
it's
they're
a constant.
done? What's their best team to work at two-man saw?
Oh, Kenny Clark's got to be involved in that, right? He's got to.
I'm gonna start nicknaming him the Lumberjack. Sure, yeah, Kenny for sure.
Okay.
We'll put together our best two-man saw teams that the Packers have to chop down trees.
Get Sheed on the saw.
Would be good. Yeah.
Jesse's just looking for a reason to put
hopefully
up that
Jordan
picture
Morgan's
again.
shoulder's in a better spot, so he can get out there, because that's a lot of strain on a shoulder now. Yeah.
I think Josh Jacobs is a pretty good saw man, I'm guessing, as well.
Yeah.
And once they're done chopping trees, they can all go get a for real shake and maybe a dunker over at Quick Trip.
Oh, is that what we're doing? We're doing a little Quick Trip action. Okay. I love it. You know I love it. Life is busy. Quick Trip gets it, whether you're craving that fresh coffee or a tasty bakery treat or firewood. Then you get firewood in those little bundles out at Quick Trip, too. They got everything. They want to make your life easier and better. Clean restrooms to fresh groceries and everything in between. Quick Trip's got you covered. Plus ATMs and free air and appetizers. Oh, they got the crispy tornadoes. We grabbed cheese curds from there. The cheese curds, phenomenal. Mozzie sticks.
Oh, they do have good mozzie sticks. Oh, yeah.
They got great little mozzie sticks. Well, we were in St. Louis. There was no Quick Trip, but we...
Did you drive from Wisconsin or did you drive from somewhere else?
You think we're going to make a stop when we left Wisconsin to go to St. Louis?
Well, Bartsky was driving, so I thought maybe the rules...
Do you not know how this rolls? Today's Monday, $6.99 for one of those full, succulent rotisserie chickens. Oh, you know that's the best on the Wednesdays. You get the $9.99 tenders or bone-in chicken. You can get the quick white bread, 99 cents. Oranges and apples and pears, oh my, 3 for $1.49. It's all right there. Take advantage of everything that Quick Trip has to offer. Use their rewards app, and you can order ahead or go for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
We'll get to your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
As you're putting your spring calendar together, we'd love to have you join us Saturday, May 17th for Marco Sicchi's 7th Annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. We're on the Madison Chain of Lakes at 8 a.m., then back at the Alliant Energy Center at 2 p.m. for happy hour, dinner, and live and silent auctions, plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat. To sign up and get more info, go to castingforkids.org. Casting4kids.org.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we'll continue to react to the Eagles' Super Bowl blowout victory. Plus, we'll discuss Luka's Lakers debut. It's Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
844-770-3776. I don't know who Mike Thomas is, but Tausch has decided to let me know that he has a Tom Brady take. So we'll have to get back to him.
Our old teammate that ran the Chicago market was one of the best market managers in the country.
Yeah, I didn't click. I didn't click on the tweet because all the information was there. But it looks like he's at WEEI, which is the big dog in Boston, if I recall correctly. So, interesting take. I'll have to read what he posted there.
Mike Thomas from Boston.
Let's go to Spencer in Minnesota instead. Spencer, good morning. Thanks for holding on, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah, so you guys are talking, the Packers being risk adverse, mostly focusing on Goody and putting a roster together. Something that I've thought of, over the last 5-6 years is just how we've been a little more conservative on the coaching staff and maybe even putting a coaching staff together. And this just kind of started back in the beginning of the whole Mahomes run that he's been on. 2019 in the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs lose to the Patriots, and they go on that offseason and fire their defensive coordinator, hire Spags, and they've been on this run ever since. Year after that, or a couple years later, Tampa Bay, they hired Todd Bowles, his second year as their DC. I mean, he was kind of proven at that point too, but they go on to win the Super Bowl. The Rams, 2022, that was with first year under defensive coordinator Raheem Morris, won the Super Bowl. Chiefs again win twice after that with Spags as their DC, but obviously a really good offensive coach in Andy Reid as well. And then this year, the Eagles win the Super Bowl after firing both their offensive and defensive coordinator the previous year. And it seems like maybe not just when we're on these runs, but Matt LaFleur just doesn't want to make these big splash moves with his coaching staff all that much. Obviously, the best one we can look at is just last year with Jeff Hafley, who none of us really knew anything about. But you look back to just keeping Joe Barry around for as long as we did too, which just felt absurd at the time. And it seems like he's just been kind of fine with keeping guys on staff for one reason or another. I mean, even Jason Rebrovich, when we kept him around with Hafley, and I think when you guys asked him in that presser, hey, why, you kept Jason around, why was that? And Matt was like, oh, he's got really good energy. It's like you kept him around because he has good energy. The year before that, remember you guys asked, hey, what's the plan with Quay Walker this year? And Jason Rebrovich said yes. At first we thought, oh, they have all these plans made up for him that they don't want to disclose. But no, I just don't think Jason actually had much of a plan for Quay Walker. So I just wish we would take some more shots with putting together the coaching staff. And, I mean, I complained about one Rich Bisaccia earlier this year too. But, Jason, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago how close Rich Bisaccia is with Joe Barry. And Rich being the assistant head coach, since he signed on with the Packers pretty much. If Rich wasn't our special teams coordinator, does Joe Barry come back in 2023? Like, I don't know who we could have hired then instead. Well, actually, I do know we could have hired Brian Flores. I don't know what kind of relationship he has with LaFleur. But, I mean, hell, it's so easy to turn a team around nowadays. Maybe we could have went on a run in 2023 if we were just a little less risk adverse when it came to putting together a coaching staff.
So this is interesting because, Spencer, you're not a knee-jerk type guy. You've been calling the show for a long time. I am not, and thanks for the call. Tausch and I will discuss it here. I'm not I don't call for coaches' jobs very often. And I've been a defender.
You called for some. You have.
I didn't say that I've never called for a coach's job. I said I don't do it very often. And other than Joe Barry, I'm not sure in the last 5 years I've called for anyone's job. But Joe Barry,
special teams coordinator.
I definitely did.
Called for his job.
Who was the dude before Bisaccia? Because that did not go well.
Drayton?
Yeah, Maurice Drayton. And before him, Sean Menenga.
Yeah. He called for his, too, I think.
I think I called for Sean Menenga, not for Maurice Drayton. But
that might have been me.
It's neither
we're
here
getting
nor
bogged down here after I
with
said that I don't
details.
call for many coaches' jobs.
Well, and we just named 3 in the last 4 years.
2.
But yeah, your point's
But
taken.
yes, 2 of the last 6.
Whoa,
But be that as it
finale.
may,
Yeah.
you're,
checked the tape. And
Hey,
that's
Mark,
what it came
just
back to.
let's
Yes,
get back on focus here.
And that dude they fired this year.
Yeah, I didn't call for Jason Rebrovich's job,
But you're not mad about it.
Whoa, Nelly! How was? Can we get Bartsky to call? I really want to know how the drive was to and from St. Louis.
Had some bad gooey butter cake or something down there.
Look, I don't think
I love how you guys always do this.
I don't think they should get rid of Rich Bisaccia. There are Packers fans who do. I think there's quite a few. Spencer was one of them. I think they upgraded with some help from adding Xavier McKinney with their defensive coordinator over Joe Barry. I never thought Joe Barry was a good hire. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I think Jeff Hafley, not just because we joke about my hoodies, is a good football coach. And I think that's been proven out in his first year and the fact that he got a head coaching interview, although the Jets interviewed a lot of people for that job. I don't know if getting a reputation as the guy who fires coach after coach after coach is a way you want to go either. So somewhere in between maybe is where Matt LaFleur should be. Like I've got Michael in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. He thinks that they need to fire Bisaccia and Steno. Now, again, Steno got 2 other offensive coordinator interviews where he could have been the play caller, and he got a head coaching interview with the Bears. I have a hard time saying their offensive struggles are because Steno's not a good enough coach. He doesn't call the plays. It's not his offense.
What does he actually do?
The same thing that Nathaniel Hackett did, but he doesn't reference Gold Member and doesn't call it the Gold Zone, so he doesn't get as much attention. And you saw what he did once he got his opportunities elsewhere without Aaron Rodgers. Oh, and then with Aaron Rodgers. I just, Tausch, I don't know if one of the issues facing the Packers is they're not willing to take the risk of firing more coaches, as Spencer kind of suggested. I don't think I can get on board with that.
I won't join that club either. I think there is going to be a long, hard look at analytics, 4th down, and how aggressive I don't actually have a problem with Matt LaFleur's. I think his usage of timeouts and how aggressive he is at the end of halves is really good. I think that's one of his strengths. But I do think he has an overhaul of kind of some of the things I was very critical about him. I would bet that there is going to be some work done in that regard this offseason. I would bet that he is going to work hard on himself in that regard. I just got a hunch that that's going to be the case. And I think you're going to see some great growth and strides in that department because that is, I think, his weak spot, and that is something he's going to get better at. And in turn, all of the other stuff gets better if that does play itself out.
All right, we want to get to a few of your text messages. You can still call in as well. The 2 questions, basically, we're juggling today. One is, do you think the Packers are too risk-averse? Do they need to take more chances?
And this is why this is so
No,
confusing.
I didn't say, no, that was the caller.
No, I know you didn't. I'm saying
Spencer did.
Spencer.
Adverse. No, it's
Saying
averse.
He did not say averse, though.
He did not.
I know. I used to say averse.
There's an asterisk behind it.
And it's not like Yama, where it's the silent L's and it turns into a J, which is still one of the more fascinating deals in any language.
Yogging.
Adverse. Risk averse.
Risk
averse.
Averse. You were taking the K off of the risk.
I think
and then
it's
also
partly
putting
I
it
take the risk.
at the end.
It is what I think has happened. Yes.
Well, you should be risk averse with your money. You should go and keep it in a bank that you can trust and know that they will take great care of you. And that is what Associated Bank does for everyone, including me. Got to spend some time on Friday with my buddy Ben Sorensen. got me caught up on the new accounts that we're going to open for the girls. It was great. It was great to catch up with him. He's been great for us, and Associated Bank as a whole has been great for us as well. And he and I and one of his assistants were talking about all the great things that we talk about on the show. Yes, Packers checking, right? Packers debit MasterCard, Packers checks, 10% off the Packers Pro Shop in-store and online. Ben wanted to know what card I wanted. Do I want a Badgers checking card? Do I want a Brewers checking card? Or I just want the Associated Bank logo? You can have all those things.
Tell him you're not a fan? Tell him you're not a fan of anything?
I did, and I said, I'll take the Associated Bank logo.
And then did he say, but Tausch says that you're a fan of all this other stuff.
You also get Credit Monitor.
He's got
early pay on direct.
He's getting a Tom Brady card. He's getting a big old picture of Tom. Oh, every time you go, you'll see that big watch he's got. Oh, it's Tommy B. I got the Tommy B card.
I don't know. I don't know if we have the rights to use Tom Brady in conjunction with a partner.
No. We probably don't.
No.
Allegedly. Let me make sure I put allegedly.
He called the big game yesterday. But Associated Bank doesn't just talk a big game. They deliver with their customer service.
Good. Nice.
With Credit Monitor, early pay on direct deposits, their $50 overdraft grace zone, and more than 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So go to AssociatedBank.com. Find out all the things that they do for you. Associated Bank. They're the best. We're the best sometimes, not necessarily today. We'll get to some of your texts next. It's Mark and Jason.
Welcome. The 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Steinhoffels now through President's Day and take an extra $100 off every $1,799 you spend. Only at Steinhoffels. See store for details. Badger football's Kenny Guyton excited for Wisconsin's tough 2025 schedule. Backing the assistant coach up, Barry Alvarez. Coach's words on the latest Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
We've built this program, and we like to think that it's a high-level program. We're competitive with anybody. We have to play these guys, and you can't flinch, and you can't back away, and you can't hide. You got to play the big boys, and when you beat them, you've accomplished something. I'm glad he has an attitude like that.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
Mark your calendars. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison with First Serve on January 17th. Led by Madison's newest pro team, Love Madison Volleyball. Get ready for non-stop action as some of the world's best players take the court. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison is ready to compete for the season's first championship title. Get your tickets now for this historic first season. Visit lovb.com today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison. Hi, I'm Lauren Carlini, Olympic medalist, proud Badger alumni, and now founding athlete of Madison's newest professional volleyball team, Love Madison. I'm excited to invite you to our inaugural season, where we will be playing at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse and Alliant Energy Center starting January 25th. Visit lovb.com to get your tickets for Love Madison's historic first season in 2025. Volleyball is the next major league.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2025 Honda HR-V Sport all-wheel drive for as low as $189 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
We'll get to some of your texts when we kick off the 11 o'clock hour, but let's get to one more call. Again, our two questions. One, do you believe the Packers are too risk-averse to win the big one? I don't personally believe that, but I can see the argument for it. And then the other one is, after watching the Eagles win the Super Bowl last night, do you as a Packers fan feel like they are farther away than you thought they were going into the Super Bowl, or not as far away? Closer, if you will. That's the question that we have as our poll question. 844-770-3776 is a Carbless Talk and text line. Let's go to Chris in Muskego. Chris, I assume you're leaning against the Jesse Nelson statue in downtown Muskego making this call.
Nope, actually driving to pick up some tzatziki sauce for homemade Greek gyros. But
does that sound good?
Yeah, it does sound
you
good.
shave it? Do you shave it, or how do you do your homemade gyro?
I use pork tenderloin like you'd make a kebab. I do kebab meat. I spent a couple years in Greece in the 70s in the military, and there's no such thing as a gyro in Greece. They don't have enough meat that they make a big shape thing. It's all chunks of meat, lamb or pork. They don't have gyros in Greece. So the gyro thing's an American thing. It's not a Greek thing. Anyway,
that right?
Wait, is this like Tausch not liking the pizza in Italy too? Similar thing here?
Well, I don't like the gyro meat because it's usually 90% it's drier than heck, and it doesn't have as much flavor as if you use lamb or if you use the pork like it's designed to in the country.
Love it.
The gyros to me are just homemade, are just a United States thing. Anyways, I think the Packers need to go all in, and by saying that, I mean, they've got the salary cap room. I don't know if this is Devontae Wyatt's fourth year or if that already was his fourth year last year.
No, he's going into year 4, him and Quay Walker.
So now if they try to get like Myles Garrett or the other two guys, Richardson and the guy from the Raiders, you know, how does that improve your whole defensive line? Now the other coach has got a game plan for that, to where if you're trying to draft that position, it's 50-50. And yes, I agree with you, Jason, from yesterday's show, listening to it, but yeah, Zach Bond, that was a cheap contract, but that's a 1 in a million opportunity. You're better off, that's throwing the dice more than trying to go after a guy like Garrett. I would think that they should go after Garrett as best they could if he's even up for the trade or he's going to be released. But I think they should try to go all in on that because Green Bay's got the salary cap room. You got to swing for the fence sometimes because base hits don't always win you ball games. Sometimes you got to hit one over the fence, and I think that's what they need to do.
All right, so Chris, let me ask you this before you go and make your gyro fry. Would you say
your what?
Gyro fry? Yeah, gyro fry. Yeah, no, never heard that before. It's like from a sitcom of some sort or some SNL skit. Chris, if you are going to get Myles Garrett, what are you willing to give up to get him? Because as Tausch detailed last week, you're talking about draft capital, not having a cheap rookie deal, which you know Goody loves, and paying him a new contract, which will be part of the trade. So how much are you willing to give up to get Myles Garrett on this team? Are you willing to give up 2 number ones and LVN? Are you willing to go that high?
Yeah, I gave up 2 first rounds because you know Myles Garrett's going to be worth that first 2 years. You don't know what you're going to get in the draft. LVN, you know, I like the kid. He shows some get and go, but I just don't think he can cut it. I'd rather get rid of LVN, pick up another young contract, and they're already the youngest team in the league. So getting Myles Garrett at 29, like you keep saying, is why they picked up Reggie at 31, and look where Reggie took him. So, yeah, get Myles Garrett, give up 2 first-round draft picks, get rid of LVN if you have to, and then you're still going to pick up maybe a 3rd or 4th round from Cleveland somewhere because you're going to give some away, but you can also get some in return.
All right, Chris, good call. We appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, look, again, I don't know. I thought I saw a list over the weekend of the trade destinations Myles Garrett would prefer. I did not see the Packers on the list. Doesn't mean that he can't be traded there, and it doesn't
they don't want
mean
to trade him.
Doesn't mean that he's going to get traded at all. Exactly.
Cleveland doesn't want to trade him, so there's going to be some give and take there. But it is a long off season. Stuff happens fast, no doubt about it. There's stuff, already the ball's rolling. Aaron Rodgers not going to New York. Stafford wants to be traded. His wife on her podcast is saying, the ball, this NFL doesn't stop, man. It doesn't stop, and you better be ready to jump on this carousel and enjoy the ride. How it's going to be, I don't want to be in the all-in conversation at this point. I'm thinking more, are you willing to throw a little bit down and shake them dice? That's what I'm thinking. Do we want to shake a dice? Do you want to?
We'll talk about that when we kick off the 11 o'clock hour, which happens in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here, introducing Pizza Hut's new Ultimate Hut Bundle. Get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and your pick of breadsticks, cheese sticks, or cinnamon sticks with the perfect dip for only $24.99. You want even more? Upgrade to large pizzas or double your wings for just $5 each. Get the ultimate feast for the ultimate value because this deal is too delicious to miss. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on ESPN Madison. Listen to every game this season, starting with opening day March 27th, right here on Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers Baseball, 100.5 ESPN. The big game in the books, the Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl 59 champions, 40-22 defeating the Kansas City Chiefs last night in New Orleans. It means the Green Bay Packers remain the last franchise to win 3 straight NFL championships. back in the 60s. Also means we flip the script to next season already over at ESPNWisconsin.com. The ESPN NFL Nation has outlined the power rankings looking ahead to next year. Yes, we're doing it already. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. NBA, the Bucks 135-127 winners at home yesterday over the Philadelphia 76ers. Damian Lillard leading the way with no Giannis. He's out with injury through the All-Star break at least. 43 points for Dame yesterday. The Bucks host the Golden State Warriors tonight at 7 o'clock. Listen to the game right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Before the Bucks game, the football season finale of the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez downtown from 6 to 7.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Before we get to some texts off the carbless talk and text line, less is more. A question from Kurt, not Benkert.
Menifee?
No, Burkham. In the
Warner?
ESPN Madison YouTube dwelling. And I've been in the Milwaukee one too, so don't get all whatever. I know there's folks that think I favor the Madison one. It's trying to run a show here, and I'm arguing with old boy all day.
You want to tell people don't be Kurt?
No, I like Kurt's. I think Kurt asks a really good question here. And the question is that there are 4 ways to acquire players: draft, free agency, player for player trade, draft pick for veteran player trade. Actually, there's also claiming players on waivers. What?
Well, the best way to do things in your list was let's go get some really like all-pro defensive player of the year types for like $1.5 million. Like, we just need 2 or 3 of those guys.
Why are you seriously? Tell me about your trip to St. Louis, because you're kind of a knob today.
You can't take any needling. Like you can't take any.
No,
needling.
I just don't want misrepresentation.
It's
I
what
was
you
praising
said.
your guy Goody, who has a track record for finding bargain players that have worked out. Yeah. I'm not saying you're going to get Zach Bond, but if you can,
but that's what you. We need one. Absolutely. Let's
You've
do
now
it.
misrepresented that statement in 2 different ways.
No, I haven't.
Which is kind of impressive.
Jesse?
By the way, Josh Sweat is a free agent from the Eagles. Do you want to sign him to bolster your
be low price.
pass rush? No, he's definitely not. If I could get back to Kurt's question.
I stand by. I'd like to have Zach Bond in Green Bay, so I don't care what you guys say.
Why does Green Bay only use 2 of those ways to acquire players, given 50% of draft picks don't pan out? They don't trade for players. They trade players for draft picks. That is undeniable about their track record under both Ted and Goody. They draft, they develop, and they occasionally use free agency. And they used it extremely well to add 2 field-tilting players a year ago at this time. Tom Pelissero just tweeted out that it's a month from today, February 10th, so March 10th, that the negotiating window opens in free agency. We'll see. We'll see if there's a Xavier McKinney to be had.
There's going to be a splash. Believe that. Daryl Hannah coming to GB. I believe that.
She an outside pass rusher? How fast is she with those fins? Because she's a mermaid. Which, by the way, referring to the film Splash with Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks, along the same lines as Dallas and J.R. Ewing.
Well, Bartsky wouldn't let me watch any movies or shows, so I didn't get any updated stuff, so I'm still stuck
in
with
the
my
back
old
seat.
movies.
He didn't let you watch Cobra Kai?
No Cobra Kai. No.
Wow.
What about the hotel? What about the hotel show?
That comes out, I think, on Valentine's Day. So,
Jesse, what's that called again?
The White Lotus, season 3.
Yeah, White Lotus.
On Max premieres.
Is that the
later this
name of the
week.
hotel?
Well, the concept of the White Lotus, Jason, is the White Lotus is a resort, and each season is a standalone story of a murder of some type that takes place at one of the White Lotus resorts, and there's a bunch of different characters that are involved.
Do you guys want to? I want to quiz you two, because on our 5-hour drive, I was shunned, or I was made to be a fool.
Well, that's not that
I
hard.
don't mind if I say something. They thought I was joking. And it was not only Bartsky, but it was Chase and Max that also thought I was a fool. They asked something about Rosetta Stone, and I didn't know there's an actual Rosetta Stone. Did you guys know there's a Rosetta Stone? If you don't know me by now, I ain't going to lie about this.
If you don't know
I thought
me by
Rosetta
now.
Stone was just the voice, like the
computer
language
software
translator learning.
to learn a language.
That's what I thought.
You thought it
Because
was
the question was, and I said, well, no, there's not only 3 things on a Rosetta Stone. There's like, you can learn every language on Rosetta Stone. And they kind of gave me a look like, man, you're an idiot. I did not know anything else about Rosetta Stone. So now I had a ton of questions. Did they have to pay to market and trademark their language tool to the English for the use of the Rosetta Stone? I didn't know any of that.
I thought it was Egyptian.
I don't know.
Did you think
maybe it
Rosetta
is.
Stone was the name of a person? Like
I wasn't sure.
Rosetta Stone.
If I'm being
it's
honest,
like the Martha
I
Stewart
didn't
of
know
Veronica's
language.
mom.
But Rosetta Stone,
Like the George
for most
Foreman
of us,
grill?
is for most of us, Rosetta Stone means, oh, you're trying to learn a new language. Like that is where I'm at. So
Yeah.
either Rosetta Stone has done such a great job marketing what they do, or I'm an idiot and I just don't know anything about Rosetta Stone. And it could be both in this regard.
Yeah, I will be honest. I am not well versed in what is chiseled into the Rosetta Stone. I haven't done my research on that, but I always thought of it as a tablet like the 10 Commandments with a bunch of words on it. And I think it's Egyptian. That's the extent of my knowledge of the actual Rosetta Stone. I assume that it's in like multiple languages, which is why Rosetta Stone, the company, decided to use it. I don't know who they would pay royalties to answer your other question. But I assume that's why they did it, because Rosetta Stone requires some translation. Again, this is not my area of expertise. But how did it come up in conversation is my question.
I don't
if it
know.
wasn't about the translation software.
We were playing all kinds of fun games in the car. We had that.
Did everyone
that
think
game
they were
where you
fun,
have to
or
get a
just
number and you have to kind of say something? We played a bunch of fun games in the car. We had a great time.
Where were
That's
you
why
on
I'm in a good-
I-39 when the Rosetta Stone came up? Had you made it to like Lakin, Toledo?
We were before Rockford, but probably in between Bloomington and Rockford.
You had a long way to go then.
And they legit, I am a history guy, and I'm disappointed in myself. I didn't know more about Rosetta Stone. Who is Rosetta, and why is this stone so important? I still don't know those answers. I don't.
Jesse, do you have any texts on the carbless talking text line written in ancient Egyptian or in English?
I have one here from Tom in North Carolina. Not sure where he stands on the Rosetta Stone, but he thinks, quote, Mark made a good point about Vic Fangio when we were talking about that a while back, which was that he made great use of his talent. I'm not saying that Jeff Hafley didn't, but I think LaFleur should have at least taken a look at Fangio for defensive coordinator last offseason when Hafley was hired. Fangio made a bigger impact on Philly than Hafley made in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that's arguable. They won a championship, and their defense is one of the best in the league. Hafley made a monster impact in Green Bay. So now it's just a matter of who is going to be able to move pieces, because Philly is losing some guys. They're going to lose Sweat. They're going to probably lose a couple of their key pieces, right? Is Green Bay going to run it back with their front, or are they going to make a big move? My guess is they're going to do something bold. They know that they know that their front four, when tested in big ways, wasn't good enough. And they can't just sit pat and say it's going to be a lot better. I don't think that's the road they're going to go down.
I don't want Tom or Mark to take this the wrong way, but the time to hire Vic Fangio was after Joe Barry's second season, because Vic Fangio got fired as the Broncos head coach in 2021. He spent the 2022 season as a consultant for the Eagles. Obviously, we discussed following the 22 season moving on from Joe Barry, and he got a third year. Fangio went to Miami, was there for a year, and then he left there and went back to Philly, where he'd been that consultant in 2022. So he was available after both the 22 and the 23 seasons. Now,
and it felt like that's the type of defense that old boy
correct,
wanted, right?
Right. So I know that we talked about Fangio on this show after the 22 season about him being available. Now,
but it sounds like, according to one of our callers, Bisaccia didn't allow that to happen.
Bisaccia is definitely a Joe Barry fan. They are good friends. I made the mistake of asking him for his thoughts on Jeff Hafley as a defensive coordinator, and as you recall, that did not go well for me in the press conference setting with Rich Bisaccia. My point is that I think they got it right. Now, could they be in the market for another defensive coordinator in a year or 2 years because Jeff Hafley gets a head coaching job? Maybe. I think we probably are guilty of overvaluing Packers assistants because there haven't been that many that have gone on to head coaching jobs. Joe Philbin got one. Nathaniel Hackett got one. I'm trying to think of others of recent vintage that went on to get head coaching jobs elsewhere. But Jeff Hafley's a good football coach, and their defense was markedly better. Yes, it helped to have Xavier McKinney on it, but I think they got it right. But I don't think they got it right with Joe Barry. Jesse, you got one more text you want to get to?
Jack in Madison. Seems like we go through this every year. We have to do things the way whoever won the Super Bowl did it, even if it's totally different than the way the team the year before did it. Is there a prisoner of the moment reaction to watching the Super Bowl champion like the Eagles last night?
There's no doubt, but yeah, and Jack's right. That definitely is how things are viewed, and that's why players typically get poached from championship, because you want some of that Rosetta Stone. You want a little piece that will unlock the future for you to maybe get to where these guys have been. Coach is the same way. And if you can get a little piece, everybody wants to be around champions. How'd you do it? What's the secret sauce?
Get a little piece.
So it's not some, that is, Jack, there's no doubt that happens because people want to get to that place. And it's great to have someone that has a roadmap. Now, does that mean they're going to all take the same path? Absolutely not. But do you want to be around winners? Most people do.
Yeah, I just think, and Jack, that's an interesting text. I don't know if we did a show last year after the Chiefs won their second straight Super Bowl and third in 4 years, and now did not get their third in a row. I don't know if we were saying that they needed to mimic what the Chiefs were doing. I mean, remember last year at this time, we were all floating on air. The rebuilding year turned into a playoff year, and they beat the Cowboys and almost beat the 49ers. I think we're taking a more critical look at the Packers this year after the Super Bowl than we were last year after the Super Bowl. What we were talking about last year was, hey,
we crowned him too early.
Could have been there, right?
We crowned him too early.
And so, and when I went through my list earlier in the show of getting pressure with 4 and having an offensive line that protects, which they have had in the past,
guys for the league minimum that are all pro. They got those 3 things.
Making sure that your quarterback runs both when he scrambles and
have a laugh.
Design.
Come on,
runs.
Fangio. Hey, you can laugh. Fangio doesn't even crack a smile after. You can laugh when something's funny.
When I'll let you know when something's funny, Mark. Wait, do we have Kay Adams laugh?
No, I lost that one. I got to get it back.
No!
I got to get it back. We'll find it.
And getting back to the play action, I think those are all things that already exist in this offense. They just need to augment them or utilize them more. And so I don't think we're asking, to Jack's point, the Packers to do something completely different than what they have the capability of doing. It's some upgrades, and it's having a healthy Jordan Love use his legs more, because that is a major component of quarterbacking in 2025. And so I don't know that we're necessarily knee-jerking or palming it right now, but I do think there are some lessons to be taken from what the Eagles did yesterday. All right, I'm looking through the rundown. I don't see trivia on here. So
no, you don't.
Are we going to try
triple
dog dare you trivia at some point this week?
5-piece nuggy trivia Wednesday. Wow.
What did we commit to last week? Do you recall?
Well, I don't recall
tape.
committing to anything. I thought you reluctantly were willing to humor Old Boy and consider the possibility of triple trivia on a single day.
I think.
And then he pushed the envelope wanting to do 5 on one day.
Yeah, just never enough.
It isn't.
Triple Trivia Tuesday will take place tomorrow, recapping the NFL season. So it is not the sports weekend recap. It is the NFL season recap. We'll have 9 questions, 3 contestants, recapping the NFL season tomorrow.
And for those of us that are interested in preventing complete train wrecks on the program, how exactly do you intend to have 3 callers on the air in somewhat simultaneous manner?
A lot of button pushing, and I'm going to ask you to stall a little bit between each contestant. That's how we're going to do that. Make sure I don't hit the wrong button and hang up on somebody by accident.
What would you say if Prize Picks were, and by the way, we're doing Coors Light next, not Prize Picks. But if Prize Picks was projecting the number of times a contestant is hung up on during Triple Dog Dare You Trivia, would you say if they set the projection at 1.5, would you go more or less?
1.5 would have the little demon guy next to it, because that would be definitely like a little further. I'm a pretty good producer back here. Like, I think 0.5 drops would be.
But what about audio? We've had some issues with audio running over the top.
We don't need to rehash about all.
Top of us.
We don't need to rehash about all the times that I haven't been a good producer. I just happened to share that I think I'm a
well.
pretty
If you
good
throw
producer.
that in with it, Jason, a hang up or any other audio that's not meant to be played.
But
you
not
take
Kay Adams' laugh, because we've lost it.
Yeah, I can't.
No, that's gone. Even though that was awesome. You know what else is awesome? Drinking a Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold package, so it's made to chill. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans are chilled to perfection. So it is always Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate sponsored by Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I really wanted to play something over that read, but I opted not to because I value our partnership with Coors Light.
Thank you for your service.
We're going to get to Whoa Nelly coming up, but next, Mark does not want Debo. We'll explain next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the Super super automotive team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust. Well, the countdown is on to crown another champion in football. And while I sure wish Green Bay was the team that would finish on top, there is another team in Wisconsin that's consistently recognized as being the best of the best, and that's Zimbrick Chevrolet. Year after year, Zimbrick is recognized as a best of Madison operation. And just like the best football teams have to be at their best in all three phases, Zimbrick is great across the board. Whether you're looking for a simple tune-up or you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. Stop in and say hi to some of the friendly faces on Main Street in Sun Prairie, or start searching for what you need from home by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Either way, I hope you take some time and discover what this super team I've been telling you about for all these years at Zimbrick Chevrolet is all about. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie is the name you can trust.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl and why?
I could never bet against Mahomes, yet I'm going with the Eagles.
Ooh. And why is that?
Because I'm a PA guy, and it's time to take it back to Pennsylvania.
Oh, man.
The Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Listen up, guys. If you haven't been giving your significant other chocolates from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier, then you've been doing it all wrong. Your wife or girlfriend will love the handcrafted, unique chocolates created right here in Madison. Stop by their store on Atwood and enjoy the ultimate chocolate experience today. Once you taste the difference that locally owned and made chocolate provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Show her you care by getting a box of chocolate from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier on Atwood.
Steinhaffel's President's Day sale is happening now. Find great deals on amazing bonus buys throughout the entire store. Then take an extra $100 off every $17.99 you spend. Plus, get a $100 MasterCard for every $17.99 you spend. See store for details. Or make your new room more affordable with Steinhaffel's 36-month 0% financing. Get in today because these deals won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you.
Before we get to Whoa Nelly, Marcus Mosher, who is a radio host, writes for the 33rd Team, it appears, with a tweet that caught Tausch's eye. And it says this: 8 of the 22 starters for the Eagles in the Super Bowl were acquired via free agency or trade, all within the last 3 years. Drafting and developing is still number one, but it can't be the only way you acquire talent. I think we would agree with that. Do we think Goody needs to do more than he does?
It's hard for me as a Goody stan to say that, because what do you want from him? He picked up two of the best free agents, and I know Zach Baun, going off of Jason's Rosetta Stone list, he's right. Zach Baun is a home run at that price. But he picked up a monster all-pro impact safety, and in a normal year, an all-pro tailback. I don't know where Josh fit into that. But you're talking about two of your best players were picked up via free agency. Now, if you want to say you need to start trading some picks to get great players, hey, good luck. Because unless they're forcing their way out, a lot of times the reason guys are up for trade because they ain't getting it done or the team doesn't want them. So, for everybody that's, and I don't know what it's all going to be. I know we're going to talk Debo either today or tomorrow, and he wants to be traded, and Tyreek Hill down in Miami wasn't happy he was going to retire. He wanted out. No. BYOB when it comes to guys that want to be traded. BYOB.
Well, I don't think the Debo Samuel conversation needs to be saved for tomorrow. We can do it right now, especially since I brought it up heading into break, because it's a simple discussion. You don't want him.
No.
He is from the 2019 draft class. Goody mentioned when they drafted Elton Jenkins, he was talking about this in his postseason presser with us, that they had Debo Samuel on their board. They had DK Metcalf on their board. I'll have to go look if they went before Elton went or not, but they were under consideration too. But Debo Samuel, Tausch, I'm no expert on tires, but I think he has been utilized to such a degree that those tires are pretty worn and there's not a lot of tread left, even for a not that old player. Would you agree or disagree?
I saw how he, went about his season, and he's a tough dude. There's no doubt. He is, broken our backs a couple of times with what he's able to do in the run game and everything else. But if you're going to go make that move, I would take Devontae over Debo any day of the week. And that's not me being, I like Devontae and none of that. It's just what I watch. And Debo's been hurt a bunch. He is not a speed demon. I don't even know if I'd say he's a great route runner. I think he is a tough, good football player. And you would say, well, you can never have enough of those guys. For the price and everything involved, best of luck to you. I always look at it, would I fear going against him if he went to the Vikings or to the Bears? I would say bring it on. I just don't think Debo, I would agree with your assessment. I think he is beaten up a little bit. Could he get rejuvenated? Absolutely. Maybe he changes how he operates? No doubt. I don't think he's ever going to be a featured tailback, which for a stretch, he had to put in his contract and he was going to get paid more if he had a certain amount of carries.
Mm-hmm.
So there is just, I would say, be very cautious. I personally don't want Debo Samuel as any solution to what the Packers are looking for. I think Jaden Reed, while not going to be as physical as Debo, can fit that role if you let him grow. I know everybody wants first-year broadcasters and first-year players and second-year players to be a finished product and polished and be the greatest thing ever, but I am going to allow for a little grace for people to continue to grow and develop in their new roles, whether it's a first wideout or a second wideout or a fifth booth guy or running the Super Bowl. I want to see guys grow and improve because I've always been told growth isn't linear. There's chop, and I think that's what we're seeing with Jaden Reed.
How's your growth been with your Prize Picks picks?
I
wonder if that's contributed to your mood at all.
I had great opportunities if my guy Saquon gets led into the end zone instead of behind him, and he's got to juggle it like he's Johnny Juggler. Doesn't get in.
One.
And then, of course, Tush Push City comes to town. No Saquon Tutter. No big win for old T, but I still had fun. The big game is over. It's All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while you watch your favorite players. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars awarded. Prize Picks has made it fun. The app is simple to use. Pick more or less. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. And play during All-Star Weekend. Don't miss your chance to cash in on a lot of special events like the three-point contest. You got, I think Dollar Dame is back in that. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Over 40 states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app. Use that code WI for the greatest state in our union. That is, of course, Wisconsin. You get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code WI on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 just for playing, and that is guaranteed. Prize Picks.
Run
your
All-Star
game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Take less on Giannis, by the way.
He will be off the board.
He will not be
I
participating.
think that's going to be an option. But
I do. And I'm not any fun. All right, we need to get to Whoa Nelly. We'll see what Mark and Jesse.
When you're telling other people about opportunities, you want to be. That's not Vic Fangio-esque. It's tough.
I'm going to take that as a win. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Toscher here. It's now Valentine's Day approaching, and I don't have to sweat it this time around. I've gone to see the team at Chalmers Jewelers, and it has made my gift giving that much better. They travel all over the world to find the best ethically sourced diamonds available and hire the best custom jewelers around. Valentine's Day gifts, engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches, and accessories. Chalmers Jewelers, where custom costs less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison. UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week, Jonah Kuhn and Jacob Kuhn from Madison Abundant Life Christian. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Well, basketball, first of all, you guys got to state last year, getting to the state finals. What was that whole road like, Jonah?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. Our motto the whole season was Rise to Glory. What better way than to do it at the Kohl Center?
So we're looking back on your time. I'll start with you, Jacob. What is it going to mean to you to have been at Abundant Life Christian for 4 years?
I've been there since kindergarten, actually. Through the years, I've developed really close friends. It's because since we're a small school, you know everyone. You're pretty much friends with everyone. So the close community that we have at ALCS is something that I'll never forget.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Come see Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, a special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moon.
We didn't leave him a whole lot of time, but just enough for Whoa, Jesse.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
All right, this is one of our favorite traditions. No free advertising. But let's talk about the advertising. Without giving away any free advertising for any non-partners of Wilde and Tausch, which Super Bowl commercials were your favorites last night, guys?
Coors Light. Coors Light was the best by far.
And, all right. Jason?
First of all, I'm happy to report that I can't give them free advertising because I can't remember what it was for, which means that it wasn't all that effective. But Seal, the singer, as a seal, not a fan of that one. And it made me wonder what Seal was thinking, committing to that. Also, there was one where people...
I thought that was on Good Morning America and other spots. I saw that was one of the favorites of the night, was Seal the Seal.
Yeah, I like Seal. I enjoy his music. I did not enjoy that commercial. Also, there were a few others that, as a father of 2 female athletes, I'm going to say Nike, if you don't mind. I thought the Nike ad was really good. I feel like female athletes are not very often well represented. I thought it was a really good ad. And speaking of female athletes, I thought the NFL's, I don't know enough about this groundswell, but the NFL on the idea of making girls flag football a varsity sport, I thought was really interesting. I know Sydney found that interesting, and I think she would like to play that in some way. I don't know how quickly that will catch on, but the NFL is obviously pushing for that. At the same time, I find myself wondering, why is the NFL pushing for that so hard? Because it is an untapped reservoir of popularity, I would think, to expand their brand, much like their game in Australia and Ireland and everywhere else they're headed. So those were the 2 that resonated the most with me that I liked. There were a couple of others that I liked, but those were the 2 that stood out. I also liked David Beckham and Matt Damon for whatever that commercial was, where he was the other David, was Matt Damon. I thought that was pretty good. I got a kick out of that one.
Whoa, Nelly!
I enjoyed Eugene Levy's flying facial hair, but then another snack company did a very similar ad a little later in the broadcast, so that was very unfortunate that they would both have the same idea to do flying facial hair. That seemed like it was just poor timing and bad luck of the draw there.
Yeah, one other one that I really liked and I thought was really clever. Again, we're not giving out any free advertising.
Nope, of course not. Yeah.
Unless it's for an ice cream shop.
I didn't see any ice cream ads
I didn't
last
either.
night.
I thought the breast cancer awareness one with how men in general maybe pay more attention to breasts in some ways, but not in others. And as someone who's love of their life battled breast cancer and is doing extremely well, knock on wood nowadays, Paula, if Paula hadn't been checked as early as she was, and had she not had someone who was as aggressive in examining her scan, I don't know what would have happened, but it would have been really bad. And so I thought that ad, obviously, again, something that I identified with, the idea of being much more proactive if you are a woman to getting screened, I thought that was fantastic, because without early detection, I don't think Paula's process would have gone, and Paula will tell you this, would have gone the way it did. And it's scary to think how much a little bit of time can make a difference in that. So I hope people watch that. It's certainly, I think the website is yourattentionplease.com. And the last one, the guy's he's serving a coffee and he's staring in a different direction than the woman's face. I thought that was great. I thought that was very clever and pay very close attention. So I hope that got people and women to get to sign up for screenings quickly.
Whoa, Nelly!
That one with the dancing tongue was the worst one of the night. That one was weird.
Didn't your guy Federer do a commercial with like Elmo? Did you see that?
I don't know.
Tausch's guy. I thought he did.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I think Tausch is done talking about the ads.
Whoa, Nelly!
I like
what do you want me to
Coors
do?
Lights.
Jump in? I'm not gonna interrupt when Jason's like going all heartfelt.
Hey Tausch, on a 1 to 10 scale, what would you grade?
Tausch.
What would you grade Kendrick Lamar's halftime show last night?
Yeah, not for me, but Max seemed to enjoy it. I'm guessing other people did too. Not my jam.
I didn't hear a number there.
I'm not going to give a number because it's not my jam. 5. I'll say it's middle of the road. 5.
All right.
Don't have a strong opinion on it.
Jason?
There was no cameo and I tried to, Sid was asleep by then, so she didn't really miss it. But there was no cameo from Taylor Swift for Bad Blood. I did think the cameo from Serena Williams, once I learned the backstory with the Drake thing, which I wasn't up to date on, was pretty darn bold. It is. I will echo Tausch's sentiments. I am not the target demo for that. I'm too old for it. It was fine. Kind of like Tom Brady's analysis during the game.
Whoa, Nelly!
Samuel L. Jackson, Uncle Sam.
That was pretty good. Clever.
Is there any time? Last question here. So I was at a watch party last night. I mentioned that earlier in the show. All the food was out before kickoff, which was great. Like, we're grazing, snacking throughout. Except mozzarella sticks came out with like 5 minutes left in the game. So all the food's out before kickoff, and then like a Hail Mary, 40 to whatever the score was. Everybody's like putting their jackets on, getting ready to go, and they bring out a tray of mozzarella sticks for everybody to eat. Is there any such thing as being too late to presenting the food for your Super Bowl party?
Maybe they just felt like they wanted to throw a little something for people that were going on a long trip to fill their tummies. No, if food is brought out, you should be happy whenever it gets brought out. If you're a guest at someone's home. I remember this party we went to, and they're bringing out lamb chops at 11 o'clock at night, and I couldn't have been more pleased. Bring it. I don't have a problem.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How late
Great
did you
surprise.
stay?
Well, I stayed enough to get some lamb chops, I can tell you that.
That kind of went without saying. All right. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
Mark Tosher here for Pizza Hut, and going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program, I've always loved Pizza Hut. Loved it as a kid, and I love making new memories, enjoying all Pizza Hut has to offer with my family now. And here's something exciting. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Ultimate Hut Bundle. Get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and your pick of breadsticks, cheese sticks, or cinnamon sticks with the perfect dip for only $24.99. What a deal! And you want even more? Well, upgrade to large pizzas or double your wings for just $5 each. It's the ultimate feast for the ultimate value. This deal is too delicious to miss. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle, only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at greatdanepub.com. Badger football's Kenny Guyton excited for Wisconsin's tough 2025 schedule. Backing the assistant coach up, Barry Alvarez. Coach's words on the latest Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
We've built this program, and we like to think that it's a high-level program. We're competitive with anybody. We have to play these guys, and you can't flinch, and you can't back away, and you can't hide. You got to play the big boys, and when you beat them, you've accomplished something.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming live Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Steinhaffel's President's Day sale is happening now. Find great deals on amazing bonus buys throughout the entire store. Then take an extra $100 off every $17.99 you spend. Plus, get a $100 MasterCard for every $17.99 you spend. See store for details. Or make your new room more affordable with Steinhaffel's 36-month 0% financing. Get in today because these deals won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
I'd love to be in a game like that. I'd love to coach a game like that. They may not see a pass in the second half.
Subscribe to the Great Dane Huddle podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the perfect
I've got Monday in my head because that was the song that was used in the Coors Light commercial with the sloths. Case of the Mondays. So that was pretty clever. And looking at the list, it's kind of middle of the pack in the New York Times rankings of the more than 60 commercials, it would appear. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
$480 million right there. $8 million a commercial.
Yeah, that's a lot, no doubt about it. Well, we started by debating Tom Brady, but we ended up in a good place discussing the Packers and their risk-averse nature. What's in store tomorrow? You'll have to tune in to find out. That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show